Good morning, everybody. Whoops. Trying to turn my light on here. There we go. All right. Good morning, everybody. This is Diane. I am going to be doing some work on the sewing binder today. But first, I want to show you just a few things that I just acquired. My friend who purchases things from, like, boxes of stuff from auctions and things like that. She saves out things that she knows that I would like. And she told me she had a few books for me today, so I went to her shop. I went down to the post office. Thank you all for purchasing journals and fabric bundles and a few other items this weekend. I had a lot of packaging to do, and I took them to the post office only to find the door locked because it's Martin Luther King Day today, the day I'm filming this. So I went across the street to the little shop where my friend has a booth set up, and she was there today. I knew she'd be there today. So anyway, this is what she gave me. Some Reader's Digest books. So I'm not sure if these will be some more naked journals or what I'll do with those, but I'm always happy to get some Reader's Digest in the pretty colors. And she thought this was a Reader's Digest also, but it's not. Immortal Masterpieces of Literature, but look at that beautiful cover, or spine. It's not in great condition. If I use the spine, it would definitely have to be reinforced. And the cover is a little worn, but it's not too bad. I could definitely make a journal out of it. The pages aren't great. They're more of a pulpy kind of paper, but the cover is very pretty. And then she gave me this. She wasn't sure if I would want it, but it's a calendar, and I thought it was fun. It's 1948 calendar, actually. So the papers are soft, and they are matte. There's no gloss to them at all. And this is Rembrandt. I don't think they're all Rembrandt. No, I don't think. Maybe. Yeah, that one's Rembrandt. Yeah, I think they all are. Yep. Cool. She always says I can have them, and I told her I was going to give her some money for them, so I just gave her a little bit for the things she gave me. She gave me this tin with some angels on it because it's got pictures inside. I didn't even really look to see what the pictures were. I saw the one on top. I said, yes, I'll take them because look at that. That's a nice picture. It's not in great condition. Look at all the foxing on the back of it. But she's got her eyes closed. But it's probably from the 40s. There's a little baby picture. That one looks like it's from the 60s. Oh, 1963. And this is probably the 70s from the style of picture that it is. 75. The lady and her dog looks like 60s. The Day I Got Scarlet. Nope, it's 73. Look at that hair. My mother used to wear her hair kind of like that. I can see why they named that dog Scarlet. It's a beautiful red dog. There's a red-headed lady. I think that's her. So those are some fun pictures. I'll have to flatten them out. They got curved up in that little box. Maybe I should give that little tin back to my friend. This I picked up at the thrift store, or antique market, the other day. I hadn't been there since the pandemic started. So I went in, and this is the only thing I found that I wanted. Everything there is pricier, so I'm very careful about what I pick up there. But I thought this was a fun book. I've had a few of these typing textbook type of things, and I love these. The end paper. Now if I turn this into a journal and put the spine over here, then these would be, oh, it won't be upside down. Yeah, it will. It's not upside down now because I flipped it, but it would be like that. And so that page would be upside down. And these are nice papers too. And that's enough of that. Let's get into our project. I started putting some pages in. I don't think you saw me collage this, did you? Yeah, I don't know. I know you saw the doll. If you saw my What Can We Do with Sewing Patterns videos, I did make the skirt and put it on the doll. And so you saw that. But I collaged vintage sewing instruction paper back there. This is a printable, some scraps of scrapbook paper, and some lace and rickrack. I may have done that on video. I don't remember. So that's in the book. And then I cut a few other pages and added a couple elements so far. This is wrapping paper. I'm going to show you how I punch the holes. This is a fun card. Somebody sent me a bunch of these, and they're long. They're wide. So I just folded it over and made a little pocket. So I'll have to make something to put in the pocket. Here is another divider card that I collaged. 1970s sewing pattern. I put this funky trim on it there. It was kind of fuzzy. And some scraps there that kind of went with the colors of their outfits. And it's a pocket. So I made this card. I'm going to put a tab on it. And this is from a sewing pattern. This is something I printed from Pinterest years ago. And I just took, it was printed on plain white paper, and I just taped it to some, or glued it to some cardstock. This was done, put together like this a long time ago. Here's a printable from the old design shop. I folded it in half. It had this definition on this side for sew, and all this was blank, and then it just has this picture. So I folded it in half and sewed it and made it into a pocket. I'll have to put something in there. And then just, this is from the back of a pattern, and that's from my pattern catalog. I have some wallpaper here. This is an envelope like this from Target. I decorated it and put this tag in there. Whoops, I gotta cut. There. I think they're from the catalog, not from a pattern. I had made about a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, I made another sewing binder journal. So I watched that video again to see what I had done, see if I wanted to do any of it in this journal, and this was one of the things that I had done. And this pocket with the printed page I had done before, and I had done this before, but I've got so many of these flashcards. Sewing flashcards are from the old design shop too, and it was an old design shop design team project when I made the other binder. So I have a lot of these already printed, so I'm going to use a lot of them in this journal. So that's what this page is. And here I took, this is a iron-on transfer, and it opens out pretty big, but it's not supposed to, it's not going to stay in the binder. I think I will put reinforcements on it anyway, but it's for you to take out and cut the pieces out and use them to embellish. This is something I had made a while ago. This is a page from a 1980s pattern catalog. I just made an envelope out of it. I think here I'm going to make a paper clip out of a couple of, or at least one of these flashcards. Goodness. So I clipped it there so I wouldn't forget. I'm going to make a flashcard or a paper clip out of that. Sewing book. I haven't embellished some of these pages. I've just got them punched and put in. This is one of those large photo cards. They were used in a school. I got them at an antique market, antique mall a while ago. And I kept this card for a sewing journal. Isn't it perfect for a binder journal? And then these are pages that actually came with the binder. I don't know which ones I'm going to leave in the book. So I have a few things set aside up here to use. I have another divider card that I want to collage onto. So we'll work on that first. I have this that came out of one of those old vintage, well, old and vintage, that's redundant, vintage magazines that I had. And as I was cutting them up, I found this article that had these images, which are awesome. So it has the woman wearing the fashion, and then it has the pattern pieces. So I thought that was incredible and awesome. And I don't know the date of this magazine, but I'm sure it's from the 40s or 50s. So I'm going to use this one. This is just a little 6x6 scrapbook paper that I've had for years. I cut it down. I'm going to put that there and this there and use one of my pattern tissue flowers. I think I might want to put a little trim or something here. Oh, I know, I had this. I knew I had something. This is a lingerie strap. Looks like it would go on a slip that you make yourself, and I thought I'd put that there. So we can just glue stuff down. Oops, I didn't fill my glue bottle. I should have. My friend also told me that she and her husband put a bid on a house that is not to buy the house, but the contents of the house, to clean it out. And that's what, I think that's what the Blue Van Man does from my outdoor flea market. He cleans out houses and then you never know what he's going to bring to the flea market. So they put a bid in on this house. They went in and saw it, but it's got lots of boxes, and she said you never know what's in the boxes. And I don't think she's ever done this before, but her husband has. They are pretty much newlyweds. I think they've been married for a year. Yeah, a little over a year. Her husband had passed away not long after mine did. Anyway, so he's had experience with this, but she's never done the cleaning out a house thing, I don't think. Anyway, she said they went in and there's lots of boxes, but they couldn't open the boxes to see what was in them. But she said everything in there is vintage, and she's pretty excited. She said, I'm sure there's some stuff in there that I would want. So she's going to keep me posted on whether they accept the bid. And when they go to clean it up and what they bring home. And told her if she wants me to come up to her house and go through boxes with her, once they get stuff there, I will. There. That's a nice little collage. I don't know if I'll add anything else to it. And I thought maybe on the back I would put this. This came from the back of a sewing pattern. I thought I would put it there and make it a tag, a pocket to hold a tag. Okay. Next, I think we're going to punch holes. So I have this piece of stationery with the sewing notions right there, and I think this will just be folded up and put into a pocket. I have another printable piece from Seneca Pond Crafts, and I'm going to punch holes in that and put it in. I punched that hole on the back side, so I was going to put it upside down apparently, but the punched hole is on the back. And then this is also from the same digital set. I have these sweet little dollies. Oh, stupid glue bottles. I wish I could find the perfect glue in the perfect glue bottle that didn't cause me any aggravation in the least. All right, so I have these sweet little dollies that came out of my pattern catalog. They're backed onto cardstock, so they will go in pockets. But for now, this is what I have to punch holes. This is from We Are Memory Keepers. Punch board, planner punch board. I think I bought this on clearance, so I don't know that they make it anymore. And it punches 3 holes at a time. So what I did was, these things come out. I don't want to take them out right now. They just lift right out. But they're all lined up the way I want them, so I'm not moving them right now. So I took one of the cards that came in my binder and just lined it up here. I tried to have the top of my card right at the end of this, but I couldn't get this to sit nicely here, so I had to just put it the closest I could to it, and then I just come down just a little bit from that edge. It's like 1/8 of an inch maybe. And then once I did that, once I got this one set, I set the other one so that this little piece right there, that little piece is centered in the hole. So I would punch that, put that all the way in there like that, and punch, and then I would move it down so that the third hole that I punched lines up with the first punch, and that will give you 2 more holes. Slide it back and punch. So I did some and put them in the binder to make sure that they were right. So we're just going to do some more of that. Now this, I don't want it to be all the way up to the top. So I have a blank one here. I want to just kind of figure out where I want this lined up. I kind of want to center it like that. So I put it where I want it, and then see where the holes are. I don't really want a hole that close to the top. So we're going to move it down like that, and it will have 4 holes in it, and then the envelope will fit down in the lower part of the page. So I'm going to line up that hole with that, and then let's see, I don't want to put this in where it's going to get in the way, but I want it to be in the right position. actually, I can tell I don't need to keep this card in the way. So this envelope is lined up at the top of this. So that's what I'm going to do. Line it up right at the top of this. And then slide it down. It is a little fiddly to do this, but I'd rather do this than punch every hole by hand, which I was going to say is what you can do. If you don't have one of these, you might have another planner punch or binder punch that you could figure out how to make it work. Otherwise, you could just take one of these and mark where you want to punch the holes and just use a paper punch. My paper punch is an old office paper punch, and it's not ergonomic. It would hurt my hand after a while. Seems like I bought one. Oh yeah. I forgot, I got this one from Amazon. Let me see how it punches. Yeah, so I could use this. It looks like the holes might be a little smaller, or they're just smaller than those. Yeah, it's the same size. So I could use this if I needed to. I think I'll just put that other paper punch in my desk, my office desk. Okay, so this is ready to go in. Sorry. And I said it was going to be at the bottom. Let's try it down there. Yeah, that works. I don't want everything to be up here. It seems like a lot of things are ending up at the top. Now, also, oh, some of that glue spilled out onto my mat. And I laid this card down in it. I'll have to decorate the top of this card. I was going to leave the chapter 3 there, but I'm going to decorate the top of that card now. I also have a piece of heavy plastic. I think this came with my Bind It All, when I bought my Bind It All, I think. And so my Bind It All would punch through this, but this won't. So I used a Sharpie and drew holes in the plastic through the template of the card that came in the binder. And I am going to punch the holes with my Big Bite. Got some stuff stuck in there. Get it out before I add more stuff to it. This hole won't be as big as that, but I wonder if it will fit on the binder rings. I hope so. Let's see. Yep, it does. So anyway, the Sharpie shows around it because I wanted to punch right in the center. I didn't want to just put a little dot there, which is probably what I should have done. It's quite thick. And I'm not sure what I will do with this card. Leave it plain or do something to it. I don't know yet. I just thought it would be fun to include it. Oh, I knocked it over. Well, that'll give me a chance to show you what it looks like. So this is what punches down, and there's the slot that the paper fits into, and it stops there. So I'm just going to set it right there. Yep, I think that's right. I move this back and forth very carefully. I don't think this is going to stay in this position. I just want to see if it fits. And it does. I can take all the pages out and rearrange them, but at least they can stay safe. And I'm going to punch this page. Didn't I already do one of these? No, I didn't. I just did the envelope. So this one is the full page. I'm going to move it up here so that it's about an eighth of an inch away from, maybe it's a 1/16 of an inch away from the very edge. Okay, that fits in there perfectly. So let's figure out what we're going to do to cover up that glue mess. I think we'll use some funky trim. I'll be right back. This is what I used on the other card. But how about some of that? I also have these. I don't want to add a whole lot of bulk, and this is a flatter piece. Oh yes, I like that color on the yellow. Also, if I keep it, it is still thick. It's got a lot of thick yarn underneath, but I want to be able to get a card in and out of there without it catching on something up here. Orange yarn is sticking out. There. Now I just have to make a tall tag. And let's see. 4 inches wide I think would be good. And maybe 7.5 inches tall. Let's cut a piece and see if that works. Shall we use one of these? Might as well. I have them. Sorry, my phone's ringing. I left it in the other room this time. There, shut my door. glue down these little flaps that stuck up when I cut it. Let's see the size before I cut it into a tag shape. Okay, yep, I like that. It's a good size. There's another little corner coming up. All right. Now I want to, oh goodness. Anybody else? No? Good. I want to punch the hole in the center. Use my new paper punch. I got it weeks ago, but I always forget that I have it. And I have a hard time seeing where it's going to punch, so I have to hold it up so I can see. It's quite a bit different. It comes down way down here, so it's hard to see it. And your piece is in there. I can see it, but I'm trying to see the dot underneath it now. Okay, I think I'm there. Now we get to have the fun of decorating that tag. I took all my things, my papers and patterns and all that stuff into the office. I have everything laid out on a table in there, so it's not just causing chaos in here. But that's what I need to decorate those. So I'm gonna grab a pile of stuff and be right back. Okay, I have a pile of papers here. There's one almost cut out. Let's just use her. That was easy. This reminds me of when I was young. I think I've told you before, my mother sewed our clothes, and she was a beautiful seamstress. And when the pattern catalog, big pattern catalogs would be outdated, the stores used to sell them cheap. And my mom would buy them and bring them home. And when she was done with them, she would let my sister and me cut them up. And so we had tons of paper dolls from those. We used to cut up the Sears and Penny's catalogs too when they were no good anymore. But I loved the figures like this that were, you could cut out to be a standalone and they were complete. And of course there were really big figures too in those books. So that book is from 1969, and I would have been 11 or 12. I turned 12 later in the year in 1969. So it's very possible that we had that catalog and cut it up, because many of the images in it look familiar, especially the big ones. I saw those tall images and I thought, oh yeah, I played with that. And I tried to get, I used to buy the catalogs too, because I sewed for myself and my daughter. I wasn't as good a seamstress as my mom. My sister is. But I did make my own clothes. I made my children's clothes. I even made some things for my husband. Some shirts and bathrobes. But, so I would buy the catalogs too when they were expired. And I tried to get my daughter interested in cutting them up for paper dolls. She just wasn't into paper dolls like I was. I bought her Whitman paper dolls to play with. That we could do that together, but it didn't interest her like it did me. We need a little trim or something on this. Let's see what we like. Got this piece of lace. I don't want to cover up too much of the background, since we work so hard to collage the background. I want to let some of it show. This one has all the components, the pattern instruction sheet, the tissue, and the envelope pieces. I think I like that. And there's lots of journaling space on the back. Maybe I want to put her right there next to that ruler piece of the pattern. So you can see I put all kinds of papers in. I have scrapbook paper, printable paper, pages from sewing books, including the binder itself, wallpaper, wrapping paper. You could put in ledger, notebook paper, whatever paper you have in your stash can be used to create one of these journals. Okay, now I just want to add some seam binding to this tag. Do I have a lavender to go with her dress? I do. I don't get to use the purples very often. I have a dark purple too, and another light purple, but I love that one with it. Looks good. Gonna wad it up. I'll probably do some stamping on some of the pages. I don't know if I will do any more videos of the construction of these. Not sure. Just looking for my scissors. Well, I'll angle it after I tie it in there. Better glue her foot down better. I don't really want, I probably won't leave it in there because there's probably still some tacky spots that'll stick. But yeah, so that'll probably stick out above the binder, which is nice. Okay, so that page is done. That was fun. I have to make some fabric flips, and I want to sew some pieces of fabric along the edges of some of the pages. I got just a couple minutes left. Let's look through these and pick out some pages that I want to include in the binder, in the journal. I like that one. Oh, look at all these. Maybe I'll put both of those in. I like that one. I like them all. I could put any of them in. Little girls. These are the images. I had pages from the other binder I made, must be, because these are the images that I cut out, I think, and made and decorated some of my collage pages with. There's staining at the top of these. Look at that. I might want to cut them and make journal cards with them. I don't know. These are all great pages. How am I supposed to make up my mind? Look at that. It's so wonderful. I think this is more than enough pages, along with all the other pages I'm going to put in. I want to have one that's got some diagrams, so I'll put that in. Some of these I can cut up to make embellishments. Okay, I think we're going to stop here so you can see how I am working in this journal. I think what I'm going to do right now is just finish getting pages cut and punched, and then I can go back and do the decorating and pocket it, adding and all that. But I just kind of want to know how many pages and what pages are going to be in here. Oh, I need to cut that. I didn't cut this page down. Must be that's not the one I intended to put in the book. That's okay. I can cut it down. I'm cutting them. I measured one of these, and I'm cutting them to this size when maybe I should have measured one of these pages, but it's okay if they stick out beyond the card, the tab, except you can't see the tabs. So I might cut some pages down a little bit more if I can. So there we are so far. I'm going to leave this here, I think. It's a little bit, it's not bad, but it's just not glued down real tight there. But it's not coming up at all. And I will probably decorate the back, the inside cover. So I'm having fun with this. I hope you'll give it a try. If you have one of these binders and you're waiting for inspiration, I hope this helps. And I thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.